Hey, what's good, y'all? I'm AllCity. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Man, do we got a lot to talk about in today's video. Mike Wang is going to be addressing shot contest coverages. A lot of players in NBA 2K26 are currently receiving ghost contests, and we should be receiving a fix for that very soon. Before we get into all the details, I want to let you guys know that we're hosting tryouts in the AllCity 2K Discord. If you guys would like to participate and be one of the first players to get ranked up, join and subscribe to the AllCity 2K Discord today. The link will be in the description below. Also, if you're still having trouble finding a crew on NBA 2K26 and you want access to them cap breakers, our crew is damn near about to hit level 30. If you subscribe to the AllCity 2K Discord, you instantly get a guaranteed spot on one of the AllCity crews. Again, the link for Discord will be in the description below. Join and subscribe today. In today's video, we're also going to be looking into some raw stats and some new details from the test results made by the good folks over at NBA 2K Labs. And if you guys want the absolute best jump shots, hands down, tried and true, tested, thorough jump shots to consistently green more often, they'll show you guys the green window sizes and make percentages. Consider joining NBA 2K Lab Premium. Use promo code AllCity and you can save yourself 20%. If any of you guys are new here, consider dropping a like and a sub. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and let's get to the video. All right, yeah, so Mike Wang, he's still out there making adjustments to the shot contest system. And while Mike is making these adjustments, the community got to deal with weird things like ghost contests, shooters that are receiving contest coverages that are not there. And if you're somebody like me who has been a part of the 2K community for as long as I've been, you already knew the second that Mike Wang started messing with contest coverages, ghost contests were bound to happen. Now, I'm not trying to just complain here, because NBA 2K26 is by far one of the best experiences I've had on an NBA 2K game over the last 5 years. And I'd even dare to say that NBA 2K26 is probably going to go down as one of the best 2Ks in 2K history. Now, if you're a defender, you're probably thinking NBA 2K26 is probably one of the worst 2Ks by far. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about that. Sound off in the comment section. Currently, I primarily play in the Rec Center, and still, the Rec Center is one of the most popular game modes on NBA 2K26. As a point guard, I'm averaging over 30 plus points per game, shooting somewhere between 65 and 66% from the perimeter, and that number is steadily rising. And I average about 10 assists per game. Needless to say, I've been having a blast on NBA 2K26, quickly approaching starter 4 and making my way to starter 5 in them cap breakers. And if 2K stays anything close to the way it is right now, we're definitely going to be hitting legend. Now, with all that said, after the last major patch update where 2K attempted to nerf the 7-4s, I have been noticing adjustments not only to my jump shot, but also to my contest coverages. I have also noticed that most 7-4s, at least the lesser scale 7-4s, are not nearly as aggressive as they was pre-patch. But elite 7-4 shooters with good shot selection are damn near unaffected by the patch update that tried to nerf them. As it stands right now, a lot of players in the 2K community want an even stronger nerf to 7-4s, but I personally don't agree. From what I've noticed, it's all about matchups. And when you match up the correct player against a 7-4, you pretty much eliminate them from the equation, turning them 7-4s into traffic cones. Now we're gonna get into the new best defenders post-patch to guard against them 7-4 shooting. But before we do, I wanna revisit what Mike Wang said about shooting on NBA 2K26 and why he felt that everything was going to be balanced between the offense and defense. He explains before the game even released why some of you defenders out there will not be receiving contest coverage against shooters.
But everything else is straight green windows, pure green windows. They scale based on attributes and coverage and all of the badges and everything. But those windows, once they're set by those things, if you can time your shot in those windows, you will hit the shot.
You can shoot 100%.
You can shoot 100%. We really have never done this before. The closest was probably 24. 24, we had a pure green window, a little bit larger one, but that one even had RNG on the edges. You know, if you are crazy good at shot timing, and you take good shots, you're gonna destroy people.
You're going to separate yourselves from other players.
Absolutely. And, you know, to offset that, you know, I'll throw that out there too, is that, you know, one of the reasons why we felt we could go this way is because defense is stronger. So contests, they're powerful. If you can get a hand up, and I watch you guys play a lot. I know you guys are really good at doing this. So you know when to jump, you know when to stay down, you know when to be in hands up. People who master that, they're going to be able to ding these shooters hard enough where it's going to be such a hard window to hit that consistently, at least, that you're going to keep the percentages down. So I'm not too worried because at least all the play tests we've been having, we're getting good numbers.
So we'll segue into shot contests then. It seems like it can be challenging to find a balance, right? You have attributes, badges, player heights, player wingspans, hand placements on the contest. How do you try to balance it to make it to a point where you're not getting contests when you shouldn't, and then you are, it's not too strong, too weak? How do you find the balance between all those factors?
Yeah, it's really hard. It's just a lot of iteration, and it's seeing what feels right. And the hardest thing about contests, I'm going to say, is usually what happens is in the 2K cam view when you're playing live with no replays, sometimes things don't look as contested as they are, or vice versa. Yep. Like sometimes it's like, oh, there's a crowd of dudes on the guy. Why is it like a 2% contest? And usually it's because two guys are flat-footed, one guy's behind the shooter, and it looks really crazy, but it's actually pretty open. And so it's really hard to dissect, every little clip.
If you were to freeze frame it at the point of the release, it's actually...
You can kind of see why the game is saying this is not a heavily contested shot. Even though to your eyes, in real time, in the heat of battle, it might look contested. But yeah, it's really just a lot of balancing and trying to make it so that, everything is a factor. We want people to invest in good perimeter defense or interior defense on the inside. We want to make sure that, height is effective, wingspan's important. All those things got to be important.
Right.
And not, overpower each other.
Man, oh man, I know a lot of you defenders out there are snarky right now. Hearing Mike Wang saying that perimeter defense is powerful on NBA 2K26 might have you guys wanting to fling your console right out the window. Now keep in mind that Mike Wang said all this prior to the game's release at Community Day, and this is well before he received all the feedback from 2K players. Now one of the key points that I got from that video I just showed you with Mike Wang is that he said even though defenders are in the proximity of a shooter and may seem like they're crowding a shooter, if you slowed it down and went into an instant replay, you would be able to see why a shooter's shot was considered open. And this is mainly because upon the point of release, there was no one that was making an actual contest. And that's the biggest reason as to why 7-4 shooters are considered OP on NBA 2K26, because there's not many defenders that can jump high enough or are tall enough that'll get their hand placement high enough to contest the release on a 7-4 shooting. Your body may be close enough, but your hand placement is not high enough to offer contest coverage. That was what we were experiencing pre-patch. Now post-patch, it's a whole different story. I'm out there and I'm playing the game every single day for hours on end, and I've noticed that 7-4s are not nearly as aggressive as they were pre-patch. But those elite 7-4 shooters are shooting unaffected, and that's mainly because most players and teams haven't adjusted the builds that they're bringing out there to contest these 7-4s. Now getting our minds off 7-4 shooting and talking about shooting in general for all types of different size players, because of the adjustments that were made in the patch for 7-4 shooting, now smaller players like myself at 6'4" attempting to shoot are receiving ghost contest coverages. I gotta tell you, I knew this was gonna happen the second Mike Wang started messing with contest coverages. I'm not complaining because it doesn't seem to be a game-breaking experience, and I'm still able to knock down my shots consistently enough to be satisfied with the results, even though I'm receiving more coverage than I'm used to. But I wanted to show you guys that Mike Wang is aware and he is addressing the ghost contest coverage issue. I'm gonna load up this clip from the good homie Black Cobra showcasing ghost contest coverage on NBA 2K26. But before we do, I wanted to share the final results from one of Mike Wang's most recent posts, asking the 2K community, if a defender is in perfect guarding position but doesn't put a hand up, what contest coverage would you expect on a perimeter jump shot? I personally voted that contest coverage should be considered open. If a defender does not put their hand up, it should be hand down, man down, open. The majority vote from you guys, the 2K community, voted that if a defender is in perfect guarding position, then that should be considered a 1 to 5% contest, even though they don't even perform an action to contest the shot. And 28% of you guys voted that it should be considered 5 to 10% contest coverage. Now, the second that Mike Wang sent out this survey, I was shaking my head thinking that we're doomed to be guinea pigs for the next month's trial tests on contest coverages. And with that in mind, let's load up this clip from the good homie Black Cobra. Now, how many of you guys watching thought that should have been a 19% contest coverage? In my opinion, at the very least, it should be considered open, if not wide open. Upon the point of release, the ball releasing from the shooter's hands, there was 0 contests made. And that's mainly because the user stood composed and timed the shot well. But the fact is, not all users are able to stay composed when shooting a shot with a defender in that close of a proximity. And that's where I believe the debate on contest coverage should start and end. In my opinion, if 2K is offering a 19% contest coverage on this type of shot, then they're pretty much doing the defender a service and doing the shooter a disservice. It's like hand holding the defenders and putting training wheels on the defense. Because I've been keeping my finger on the pulse of the 2K community, I know that a lot of you defenders out there feel very differently. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comment section below. Now, moving on, I wanted to give you guys the raw stats, the test results from the good folks over at NBA 2K Labs. Through their tests, they found out post-patch that contest coverages on average went up about 10%. And the graph you're looking at is with an 80 perimeter defense, considering far contests with hands up only. Running the point guard position on a daily basis, I've noticed this change. Even as a defender, with my 6'4" point guard playing defense out of the corner, I've noticed a 10% increase as well. Now let's pull up this next graph from the good folks over at NBA 2K Labs, the best height versus a 7'4" and the average contest percentages you will receive, considering close contests with your hands up. By far, a 7'4" competing against another 7'4" as a defender, a 7'4" guarding another 7'4" will receive on average with close contests, hands up, an 81% contest coverage. Those are the 2 bars that you see on the far right side. Pre-patch, it was tested at around a 50% contest average. Post-patch, up to 81%. 7-footers receiving roughly around 34%, 6'11s receiving around 48%. One of the more impactful changes were them 6'10s and 6'9s. 6'9 receiving 11% pre-patch. That number jumped to 30% post-patch, and the same for the 6'10, receiving 15% pre-patch to now receiving on average a 43% contest post-patch. And I love the idea that 2K made this adjustment, because now you could have 6'9s that are able to guard 7'4s and also 6'10s that can guard 7'4s, and they're much more agile and could do a lot more on the floor in regards to passing lanes and passing lane steals. They can play perimeter defense and have interior defense. I'm personally biased and like having more speed on the floor as opposed to slow moving 7'4. Keep in mind that these numbers were generated considering a close contest with hands up. And now we'll pull up the numbers for a far contest with hands up, and you'll see how these numbers change. This is where you'll begin to see the impact of having a 6'9 and a 6'10 on the floor. Far contests with hands up for 6'9 players on average will receive a 12% contest coverage. Pre-patch, that number was only at 4.9%. Looking at the 6'10 bills, you're receiving on average a 13.7% contest coverage, and this is just with your hands up, somewhat of a late closeout. The 6'11s receiving an 11.7% contest coverage, 7-footers at 7.3 contest coverage, and if you're a 7'4 guarding up against another 7'4, far contests with your hands up, on average, you receive an 8.5 contest coverage. And if you're only receiving an 8.5 contest coverage on another 7'4 shooting, that might as well be considered hands down. That 7'4 is going to knock down that shot against another 7'4. Now, personally, I've never been on the 7'4 bandwagon. I see what they do out there, and I notice their impact on offense, but in my opinion, defense wins games. And if 6'9 and 6'10 bills are offering this type of coverage against 7'4s, imagine the type of contest coverage they're going to offer against smaller players, not to mention the additional defense of being in them passing lanes. NBA 2K26 has been, and I think it will always be, about matchups. If you guys are able to put together a team of good players to match up against your opponents, you're more than likely going to get the win. As always, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about this stuff, so share them in the comment section below. If any of you guys are new here, consider dropping a like and a sub on your way out, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all. If you guys are tired of running with randoms and you're looking for players to run with on NBA 2K, come on out and join the AllCity 2K Discord. The link will be in the description below. Find players and get runs now. Drop a like and drop a sub on your way out. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.